Now for a glimpse of ag around the world. Farmers were again taking to the streets in protest ahead of the 4-day European Union election. Some political groups getting farmers on their side throughout the 27-nation bloc in the months leading up to the polls. They claim farmers have become the victims of an overbearing EU and environmentalists that fail to take their considerations into account. Political experts say the farmers could have a real impact on the outcome of the election, with so-called populist and hard-right parties expected to surge. Well, strike concerns at 2 Cargill plants in Canada. 1,000 workers at the Cargill facility in Ontario recently going on strike, and there was concern that union workers at a case-ready plant in Calgary, Alberta, would also follow suit. The union in Ontario saying it was bargaining for an increase in pay due to higher costs of living and also maintaining some pay increases that happened during the pandemic. Cargill releasing a statement last month saying it was concerned about the hardships a labor disruption would pose on employees and customers and would be working with the union on the next steps. It said that it planned to shift production to other facilities within its supply chain to minimize disruptions. And happening right now, Colombia continues to impose restrictions on the imports of U.S. beef due to the outbreak of avian flu in the U.S. Colombia imposed restrictions on the 9 states where there had been cases of highly pathogenic avian influenza reported in lactating dairy cows. That's despite the standing free trade agreement. However, even with those restrictions, U.S. Meat Export Federation officials say the demand for U.S. beef in Colombia is still strong, and the U.S. industry is doing its best to overcome this trade barrier and meet the needs of Colombian customers by sourcing beef from eligible states.
However, we do have plants in other states where export certificates are now being granted, and import certificates in Colombia are also being granted. So some trade has started back up, but clearly the supply is going to be more limited, but yet we still believe there are some really good opportunities given the situation.
He adds that the Colombian currency is a strong relative to the U.S. dollar, which also is a positive for meat exports. Also in ag news from around the world, you're looking at the most expensive cow ever sold at auction. That's right, that's according to the Guinness World Records. The cow weighs more than 2,400 pounds and is twice as heavy as an average adult of her Nelore breed, which is raised for meat. The Brazilian cow is worth over $4 million. Her owners have put up billboards praising her size and inviting ranchers, locals, and busloads of veterinary students to come see the super cow. Vets in the area say the cow's eye-popping price stems from how quickly she put on her vast amount of muscle, her fertility, and how often she has passed on those characteristics to her offspring. Those eager to find out pay around $250,000 for an opportunity just to collect her eggs. All right, that was a glimpse of agriculture around the world. Well, you've probably heard the saying, food security is national security, but what does that mean for the pork industry? Chip Flory has had a lot of discussions here at World Pork Expo. We catch up with him for Chip's Corner next.